On March 26, 1997, police discovered 39 members of the Heaven's Gate cult dead in a mass suicide. The group, founded by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles in 1972, was based on fluctuating beliefs combining apocalyptic Christian belief with UFO and science fiction ideology. Applewhite and Nettles, known to the group as Doe and T, recruited followers across the country. Doe and T called the followers the crew. The crew were from diverse backgrounds and were by all accounts intelligent and earnest. They were people trying to find purpose and meaning in their lives. T died of cancer in 1985, which led to a reinvention of the group into a computer culture-based organization. The crew made their living designing websites for others, while also creating websites to recruit followers and explain their beliefs. When Doe heard rumors that the comet known as Hale-Bopp had a UFO following behind it, he quickly convinced the crew that would be their transportation to the next realm. The crew, who had been completely stripped of all individuality and were basically asexual, wore matching black sweatshirts, matching Nike tennis shoes, and each had a $5 bill and 3/4 in their pockets at the time of their deaths. They visited SeaWorld and Disneyland before the planned suicide, and the night before their deaths, ate out at a restaurant where they all dined on identical meals: iced tea, green salad with tomato vinaigrette dressing, turkey pot pie, and cheesecake with fresh blueberry. In the recorded farewell video, all members seemed joyful and excited for their voyage into the great beyond. I personally found it very interesting that they chose this menu for their last meal, and I wondered if it would be any good, so I tried it. To make the tomato vinaigrette salad dressing, you'll need to combine 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 1 cup tomato soup, condensed, 3/4 cup of distilled white vinegar, 2 teaspoons of salt, a sprinkle of onion powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground paprika, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1/4 cup sugar, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1½ teaspoons of dry mustard, and 1½ cups of vegetable oil or olive oil. I used olive oil. You combine all the ingredients, mix it very thoroughly, cover and refrigerate, and then right before serving, you want to give it a good mix in a blender to combine the oil with the rest of the ingredients. To make the turkey pot pie, you'll need a pastry for a double-crust pie. You can do handmade or store-bought. I did the store-bought. In a saucepan, melt 1/4 cup butter or margarine and saute a 1/2 cup of onion and a can of mushrooms or a 1/2 cup of chopped mushrooms fresh until tender. Stir in 1/3 cup flour, a 1/2 teaspoon salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, an 1/8 teaspoon pepper. Mix that around until it's all incorporated, and then you want to add 2 cups of chicken broth or 1 can, 3/4 cup of milk. Add that all at once, and then you cook and stir that until thick and bubbly. Once you've got a good thickness, then you stir in your peas and carrot and about 3 cups of cubed cooked turkey, and you may substitute chicken if you don't have the turkey. And then you want to also add about 1/4 cup dried parsley. You mix that all really well, then you place one of your pie crusts down into a baking dish. You pour the mixture over, then you put the second pastry on top of the mixture and seal the edges, and then you can cut the slits in the top for the steam to escape, and you bake in a 450-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. You might have to watch it. You don't want it to get too brown, but you do want to make sure the pastry gets done. And then to make the cheesecake, you'll need a store-bought graham cracker crust, and for the filling, you're going to take 2 eggs and 12 ounces of softened cream cheese, and you'll want to beat those together really good. And then you're going to need 1 cup of sugar and add that to it, and about a 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of vanilla. You'll want to mix that all together really, really well. You'll pour that into your graham cracker crust, and you'll want to bake for 25 to 30 minutes at 350 degrees. Then you pull it out of the oven and let it cool for 10 minutes. And then you want to add the top layer. And this is how you make the top layer. You combine a 1/2 cup of sugar, 1 cup of sour cream, and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Mix that up really well, and then you spread that over the top of the baked cheesecake, and you return it to the oven for about 10 minutes. And then after the 10 minutes is over, you just pull it out and let it cool. And make sure you refrigerate any leftovers. I hope you enjoyed these recipes as much as I did. If you're interested in making these recipes, I'm putting them in the description of the video, so check them out there. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.